Front Page for Monday, April 24th, 2023. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is poised to run out the clock on former President Trump's border wall. Stephen Dinan reports House Appropriations Committee Chair Kay Granger said some $200 million in wall money will expire at the end of the fiscal year in September, with another $2.6 billion more expiring in coming years. U.S. Border Patrol senior leaders say the wall works and they need more construction. Mayorkas said he's approved 129 projects to fill gaps and complete gates in the wall, and acknowledged the government is paying to store wall construction materials. There's a new kind of forever war for the Pentagon as battles play out in the courtroom and the ballot box, with deeply emotional implications for female troops and ripple effects throughout American society. Ben Wolfgang reports the Pentagon's decision to fund out-of-state travel for female service members to obtain abortions has raised high-stakes questions and could create the most personal of political footballs. The more immediate fights could be in the political arena. Without affirmation from federal courts, the policies adopted by the Pentagon and the Department of Veterans Affairs could easily be reversed by a future Republican president, and the next Democratic-led Defense Department could then undo that reversal. The Justice Department says the Pentagon is on a solid legal footing to offer time off, travel reimbursements, and other aid to female troops who, because of state laws, must seek legal abortions elsewhere. A small but growing alliance of parents and students have embraced old-school phones that do little beyond calling and texting. Sean Salai reports U.S. sales of vintage and minimalist handsets soared last year, even though so-called dumb phones represent a tiny fraction of the global cellular market. Enthusiasts say feature flip phones with fuzzy cameras and new model minimalist phones from some startup companies are cheaper than smartphones and help them socialize with others. They point to studies linking increased screen time during the pandemic to spikes in anxiety, depression, and inattentiveness among young people. Flip phones that have become popular include the Nokia 2760 and Nokia 2780, as well as the TCL Flip and Alcatel Go Flip 4. You can read all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. An advocacy group says the killing of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officers in 2020 sparked an increase in efforts to punish college professors and speakers for controversial speech. Sean Salai reports the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression says a total of 509 professors were punished from 2020 through 2022. In the 20 years before Floyd's death, 571 total had been sanctioned. Almost two-thirds of censorship efforts last year resulted in universities sanctioning the professors, and 1 in 5 resulted in their firings. The report found that 52% of last year's attempts came from the political left, 41% from the political right, and 7% involved unclear or irrelevant non-political conflicts. A House Republican investigation is poised to uncover how James Biden and other family members may have profited from President Biden's powerful positions in government. Susan Ferricchio reports congressional investigators are researching foreign business deals related to the Bidens via Treasury Department suspicious activity reports that are generated by banks. The president has repeatedly stated he knew nothing of his family's business deals and didn't participate in any of them or profit from them. Court documents show James Biden has a long history of using his brother's name to bolster his credentials both as an influential business partner and an investor. And finally, Andrew Salmon talks with Moon Chung-in, vice chairman of the Asia-Pacific Network for Nuclear Nonproliferation, on the slew of challenges facing the Korean Peninsula. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.